Can a team beat Luka Doncic and LeBron James on their home court without their franchise superstar and make it look almost easy? The San Antonio Spurs just answered that question with a resounding 132-119 victory. No Victor Wembanyama for 12 straight games. No problem. NBA Cup Quarterfinals handled. Los Angeles shocked? Absolutely. But here's the part that should terrify the rest of the Western Conference. This wasn't just a win, this was a statement. This was Mitch Johnson's young core proving they're not just surviving without Wemby, they're evolving without him. And what they've built in his absence might be exactly what turns this rebuild into a dynasty. Let me explain. What's up, Spurs fans? Welcome back to Spurs Quick News, quick, sharp, and all about the silver and black. I'm your host, and today we're breaking down how San Antonio just eliminated the Lakers from the NBA Cup without Victor Wembanyama, and why this might be the most important win of the Mitch Johnson era. Drop your city in the comments. Let me know where the Spurs family's watching from. Let's set the scene. December 10th, Crypto.com Arena, NBA Cup Quarterfinals. The Lakers, with Luka and LeBron, both future Hall of Famers, were 7-point favorites. The Spurs rolled in at 16-7, carrying momentum despite missing Wemby for 12 consecutive games. And from the opening tip, San Antonio didn't just compete, they imposed their will. Final score, 132-119. But here's what makes this special. This was exactly the kind of win championship teams collect in April and May. The Spurs shot 50% from the field and 45% from three. They generated 27 fast break points and turned 11 Lakers turnovers into 16 points. Their bench, sparked by Keldon Johnson's volcanic first quarter 13 of his 17 points, outscored LA's reserves 48-31. And here's the subplot that went viral. Before the game, Keldon told reporters he wanted to use his NBA Cup prize money, $53,093 for reaching the semis, to buy a llama for his farm in Bourne, Texas. The rest of the team apparently took that mission personally. KJ already has 12 goats, 6 chickens, 4 mini cows, 2 horses, and a mini donkey. The llama would complete his country empire. The Lakers had their moments. Luka went off for 35 points. LeBron stuffed the stat sheet with 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists. Marcus Smart caught nuclear fire from deep, draining 8 threes for 26 points. But every Lakers surge met a Spurs counterpunch. San Antonio, led by 12 at half, stretched it to 24 inches the third. And when L.A. cut it to 8 late in the fourth, Stephon Castle, just his second game back from a 9-game injury absence, buried a dagger three with 1:41 left to seal it at 130-116. The result? Vegas. Saturday, against the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder 24-1, who just tied the 2015-16 Warriors for the best 25-game start in NBA history. Oh, and the Thunder are the reigning champions who won it all last season with a 68-14 record. This is the deep end. And the Spurs just dove in head first. Is the Spurs' success without Wemby revealing something special about this core, or will everything change once he returns? Comment special core or wait for Wemby below. Here's what separates this win from a simple upset. Mitch Johnson outcoached J.J. Redick, not by accident, not by luck, by strategic design. Los Angeles came in with a game plan built around Luka's pick-and-roll mastery and LeBron's court vision. On paper, they had every advantage. 2 top 10 players, veteran savvy, championship pedigree. But San Antonio's tactical execution was surgical. 27 fast break points tells you everything. Every missed shot, every turnover, every dead ball became a sprint. The Spurs didn't just want to run, they forced the Lakers to run at a pace they couldn't sustain. Luka, still working back from the calf injury that kept him out since Christmas, looked gassed by the third quarter. LeBron, at 40 years old, was asked to chase 19 and 2 0-year-olds in transition for 40 minutes. The math simply didn't work, and Mitch Johnson knew it from the opening tip. Here's the fascinating risk. Smart dropped 8 threes and 26 points. That's a season high. He was left wide open on purpose, a calculated gamble. San Antonio chose to live with Smart's shooting while clamping down on Luka's driving lanes and LeBron's passing angles. They dared Smart to beat them, knowing that even if he got hot, it was better than giving Luka clean looks at the rim or letting LeBron orchestrate. The math worked. Smart got nuclear, but the Spurs still scored 132. Sometimes the right strategy isn't stopping everything, it's controlling what you give up. 3. The three-guard lineup is becoming a legitimate weapon. This was the first game where Castle, Fox, and Harper all played healthy and active together, and the results were stunning. Stephon Castle, 2024-25 Rookie of the Year, now in his sophomore season, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Most importantly, 21 of those points came in the second half, when championship teams need their best. Castle isn't just developing, he's arriving as a legitimate 20-plus PPG scorer. De'Aaron Fox, acquired via trade in February 2025. 20 points, just 1 turnover. Fox was the calming presence, the steady hand, the veteran who doesn't need the ball to impact winning. This is exactly why the front office traded for him. Dylan Harper, #2 pick in 2025, son of 5-time NBA champ Ron Harper, 13 points off the bench with his trademark paint pressure and high IQ decision-making. At 19 years old, averaging 13.5 PPG while shooting 66.7% at the rim, this kid is special. But here's the insight nobody's talking about. These 3 guards played together for multiple stretches, and it worked beautifully. 3 ball-dominant players on the floor simultaneously, and it looked natural, fluid, dangerous. Mitch Johnson is discovering something in real time. Maybe this team's ceiling isn't about picking between these guards. Maybe it's about unleashing all 3 at once. And there's something Mitch Johnson quietly adjusted after Castle came back from injury that unlocked this performance. The change was subtle in the rotations, but it might define how this team closes games for the rest of the season. Should the Spurs keep experimenting with the 3-guard lineup when Wemby returns, or go bigger for playoffs? Comment 3 guards or go big below. If you're vibing with this tactical breakdown, tap that like button. It helps us keep delivering deep dives like this. Let's zoom out, because this win wasn't just about one game, it's about where this franchise is headed. The Spurs are now 17-7 on the season. They've won 9 of their last 12 games. And here's the stat that should make every contender nervous. They're 8-3 without Victor Wembanyama. Not surviving, thriving. That's not luck. That's world-class player development, meeting elite coaching, meeting smart roster construction. The youth movement is real. Dylan Harper, the #2 pick drafted in June, is averaging 13.5 points in just 22 minutes per game as a 19-year-old rookie. He's shooting 66.7% at the rim, attacking closeouts like a 5-year vet, and making passes that scouts didn't know he had in him. The son of Ron Harper is living up to the bloodline. Stephon Castle, last year's Rookie of the Year, just dropped 30 and 10 inches, a playoff intensity environment against 2 Hall of Famers. At 21 years old, on the road, in December, kids like this don't exist. The front office played chess, while others played checkers. Remember when people questioned the De'Aaron Fox trade back in February? The Spurs gave up assets to land an all-star point guard when most rebuilding teams would have stayed patient. That move looks genius now. Fox has been exactly what this team needed: a stabilizing veteran presence, an elite secondary playmaker, and someone who makes winning plays without needing 20 shots. His 20 points and 1 turnover in this game is textbook veteran leadership. Meanwhile, role players are thriving in defined roles. Keldon Johnson, 17 points, the energy spark plug who literally wants a llama. Julian Champagnie, 13 points, spacing the floor like his job depends on it. Harrison Barnes, veteran glue, making the right play every single time. No egos, no drama, just professionals who trust the system and each other. And at the center of it all, Mitch Johnson, the 8-year-old first-year head coach who replaced a legend, Greg Popovich, stepped down in May 2025 after 29 seasons and hasn't missed a beat. And here's something you might not know. There's one move the Spurs could still make before the trade deadline that would turn this contender into a legitimate championship threat. Insiders have been whispering about it for weeks. If you're the Spurs GM, trade assets for another star next to Wemby, or let this young core develop organically. Tell me, trade now or develop? Let's be real, this Spurs team isn't perfect. But their weaknesses are the kind that development fixes, not the kind that derail championships. What's elite right now? The pace is a weapon. San Antonio ranks 7th in offensive rating, and when they push tempo, they're nearly unstoppable. The Lakers couldn't keep up, and they're not alone. Three-point shooting is ahead of schedule. That 45% from deep in a playoff environment game, that's not variance, that's identity. The bench is an actual advantage. Outscoring opponents' reserves by 17 points isn't depth, it's a luxury that contenders dream about. Adaptability under Mitch Johnson. This team adjusts mid-game better than teams with 5 years together. That's coaching, where they're still learning. Third quarter defense needs work. The Spurs rank 29th defensively in the third quarter, 124.3 defensive rating. Teams make halftime adjustments, and San Antonio has occasionally struggled to counter. This is fixable and critical before the playoffs. Rim protection without Wemby. Luke Kornet is a solid fill-in, but he's not a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. When Wemby returns, this problem vanishes. Until then, it's exposing the need for another quality big. Clutch execution is still maturing. The Lakers cut it to 8 late, and you could feel the pressure. Castle's dagger 3 saved the day. But learning to close games without drama is a skill this young core is still developing. The good news? These are all experience problems, not talent problems. Championship teams are built through moments exactly like Wednesday night where you're tested, you wobble slightly, and then you finish the job anyway. What's the biggest thing holding this team back? Experience, rim protection, or clutch composure? Drop your take below. So here's what's next. Saturday night, Las Vegas NBA Cup Semifinals. San Antonio Spurs versus Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's not sugarcoat this. The Thunder are 24-1 with the best 25-game start in NBA history, tied with the 2015-16 Warriors. They're the defending NBA champions who went 68-14 last season and won it all. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the reigning MVP. Their defense is historically great. They just destroyed the Suns 138-89, a 49-point demolition that set Phoenix's record for worst loss in franchise history. And the Spurs? They're walking into that buzzsaw with momentum, confidence, and nothing to lose. Here's the X factor that everyone's asking. Will Wemby play? Victor Wembanyama has been practicing in full. He traveled with the team to Los Angeles. He's been doing pre-game workouts on the court. The Spurs have been extremely cautious with his calf strain. 12 games missed so far, but the timeline suggests he's close. Really close. If he plays Saturday, the Spurs become a legitimate threat to upset OKC. If he doesn't, this young core has already proven they can compete with absolutely anybody. Either way, Saturday in Vegas will tell us everything we need to know about whether San Antonio is just a feel-good story or an actual contender. And if what I've heard about Mitch Johnson's potential starting lineup change for the Thunder game is true, it could completely shift how we think about this team's identity going forward. If this breakdown gave you something new to think about, smash that like button and share it with another Spurs fan who needs to understand how special this team is becoming. Subscribe and hit that notification bell, because Saturday's Thunder game could be the moment this season transforms from promising to historic. The Silver and Black just knocked off the Lakers in L.A. without their superstar. Now they're hunting a championship. Go Spurs, go. Until next time, stay Silver and Black, stay sharp. Peace.